Alright, so YouTube, check this out. I wanted to make a video, a science and technology video, and I'm going to be making a lot more of these, by the way, about, things that are going on in the scientific world right now with regards to alternative energy, and some of the things that different things people are trying to do. So I have a number of articles that we posted underneath the video that you guys can click on and read the whole article yourself, because I'm not gonna read the whole thing. So I'm just gonna break it down into sections and pull out the best information. So the title of this first article is Iron Man plants supercharged by nanotech power. Now check this out. A team of biologists and engineers has made bionic plants that have been upgraded with an injection of nanotechnology. Okay, that sounds interesting. What are you talking about? The idea is twofold: to boost plants' ability to photosynthesize and to produce a new class of bionic materials that grow and repair themselves using little more than sunlight. That is interesting. The team says they have persuaded nanomaterials to burrow deep into plants, reaching the tiny chloroplast that make the plant's energy. Here, the nanomaterials enhance this process, even allowing it to work outside the plant. Applications remain far off, but could include self-powering and self-repairing phones, or even buildings, trees that double as cell phone towers, and a new type of fuel cell. And I quote, "The vision is to use plants as a platform for technology," says team leader Michael Strano of the Massachusetts Institute of Technology. At the heart of the experiments are chloroplasts, the tiny sacs inside plant cells that carry out photosynthesis, harnessing energy from sunlight to make sugar out of carbon dioxide and water. Ultimately, we want to make a chloroplast that can sit on a shelf, absorb sunlight, and make sugar. Now, I don't know if they mean that literally, in terms of literally making sugar, or if he was just using an analogy. But basically what they want to do is take chloroplasts, which, because plants take in CO2, they release oxygen, which is, why they're useful. That's why we need them, because of the oxygen they create. And they want to use chloroplast, take the chloroplast. Well, I don't know if they mean literally taking a chloroplast out of the plant itself, or, even maybe potentially engineering a chloroplast. They could probably do that too. And using the electrons that chloroplasts use to power different things, which is very interesting. They've actually created a nanomachine using something called nanoceria and carbon nanotubes to extend the shelf life of chloroplasts, because they were taking the chloroplasts out of the plants, and they were realizing that the chloroplasts, something called free radicals would destroy the chloroplast in like 4 hours or something like that. And the nanomachines that they created extended the life of the chloroplast by like 2 hours, because the nanomachines got rid of the free radicals, which was destroying the chloroplast. So obviously, if you get rid of the things that's destroying the chloroplast, then you extend the chloroplast's life. But of course, 6 hours, that's, you want something a little bit more efficient than that. But this is the early stages of green technology. So I think that's it's really interesting. And they found that this actually boosts photosynthesis as well. So, if you can make plants stronger, there's a lot of potential benefits from that. So we'll have to see where this goes. I don't know if we're right around the corner from having our phones being charged by plants, but maybe in 15 years, maybe 15, 20 years, who knows? So that was the first one. Take this down right quick. Now I have another article entitled "Scientists Get One Step Closer to Artificial Photosynthesis." Sort of in the same line with the previous article, but they're using the technology in a different way. So they're not exactly using chloroplast that I can tell from this article. Artificial photosynthesis could prove to be an important technology in any sustainable energy system. And a team from Lawrence Berkeley National Laboratory has taken a big step toward making that a reality with a new catalytic model of Cobalt Oxide. So a catalytic model, that's basically saying, there's something that's breaking down a larger molecule to create energy. And with the breaking of that molecule, energy is released. Sort of like enzymes. When we use traditional photovoltaic solar panels, the photons striking the surface produce electrons directly. The efficiency of this process is a little over 20% for commercially available panels. But there are some, hypothetical solar panels that get over 20% efficiency. I don't think they're really on the market like that, though. Plants aren't after electrical energy, but they still need a lot of electrons to generate biochemical energy. Energy in eukaryotic cells like animals and plants come mostly from the molecule ATP. The overwhelming majority of ATP in cells is produced through the electron transport chain. That is what artificial photosynthesis is trying to tap into, the flow of electrons. So this technique that this different team is using is not necessarily chloroplast, but they're trying to manipulate the electron transport chain. But I will say the electron transport chain is in chloroplast. So they're still using chloroplast, they're just not using it in the way that the previous team was using it. So hold on. It has been known for some time that cobalt oxide nanocrystals were able to catalyze the oxidation of water when exposed to light. I didn't know that. But the process wasn't good enough. Oxidizing water is a 4-electron process, but the second and third steps have always been sluggish with cobalt oxide. Through analysis of the reaction with infrared spectroscopy, the Berkeley team realized that there are different types of catalytic sites in a cobalt oxide surface. Some are faster and the others are slower. To oxidize water more efficiently, you simply need to control the structure of the catalyst so its surface has more of the fast sites. So again, we're talking about engineering something to get a different result because they want the faster sites. So this is sort of like enzymes, because enzymes have the substrate binding site where substrates come in and on the enzyme and fuel different processes and create different products. So it sounds a little bit like that. So you've broken down water molecules, but now what? A plant uses the electrons to run redox reactions, and in order to shuffle the protons around and in order to shuffle the protons around and produce ATP. The oxygen is released as a waste product, much to our benefit, as I mentioned before. In artificial photosynthesis, the energy from the electrons can be used to generate fuels from carbon dioxide and protons, those hydrogen ions. The researchers suspect that a cobalt oxide catalyst that has been properly created to produce more fast catalytic sites could use the available light more efficiently than photovoltaics. In other words, meaning they think that this artificial photosynthesis system that they've created will be more efficient than solar panels, in a nutshell. Cobalt oxide is also plentiful and easy to work with. That's good. Solving this intermediate step in the process is not the last piece of the puzzle, but it's starting to come together. So obviously you can use plants to create different different forms of energy. And I think, you know, in a world where so much is dependent on oil, even electricity really is dependent on oil. I think people looking into this stuff is very beneficial. I think we're far ways away from, you know, everything being run on, you know, green energy, especially this type of green energy where you're using either chloroplast or, you know, artificial photosynthesis. But you know, it's a step in the right direction. Give me your opinion on that in the comments section. And then I had one last article that I wanted you guys to read. Well, I'm going to read it, and you guys can click on the link and read it for yourself. The title of this article is called Power Plant, This Radio Runs on Moss. Designer Fabian Felder wants to reupholster jumbo jets with moss. In her vision, passengers will sit on verdant tufts while the bryophytes purify the air and use electrons captured during photosynthesis, and go back to that process again, to power the DirecTV panels on the seats' backs. Many would think Felder was crazy, but biochemist Dr. Palio Bombelli, I don't know who the hell that is, and plant scientist Ross Dennis from the University of Cambridge were impressed with her bio and offered her the opportunity to collaborate with their lab. Okay. The scientists are researching the potential of photomicrobial fuel cells, or photo-MFCs, which are essentially potted plants that act like miniature power plants and transform sunlight into electricity that can be used to power iPads. Bombelli and Dennis have worked with designers previously and created a concept design called the Moss Table, a surface covered in photo MFCs that could supposedly power a lamp, and in reality all of the prototype cells could power in reality all the prototype cells could power was a small LCD display, but it illustrated the potential. Then they go on to say that the science proposed a new project, which was basically to build a humble FM radio, basically from moss. So they're using the moss to power radio. The result is a sound system comprised of 10 photo MFCs housed in a frame meant to evoke the feel of a biochemistry lab. It looks like a science experiment, but Felder's biophilic boombox can generate enough power to play a short song. The array in a hidden capacitor can only power the radio for a few minutes at a time, and listening to an entire baseball game would require hundreds of plants, but still she's bullish on the potential of the truly green energy. She says, and I quote, "Give the researchers a few more years and it will change," says Felder. But despite these little steps forward, the breakthrough we've had with the radio is not to be underestimated. Stabilizing the technology and expanding its efficiency is the next order of business. Finding the perfect moss and growing them directly onto conductive surfaces could lead to efficiency gains, but more experiments are required. There are over 20,000 species of moss growing in Britain alone, and aside from their ability to produce electricity, they also insulate, muffle noises, filter the air, and have antifungal bacterial properties. The team's well aware that it may take years before the technology is viable in the market. Even at maturity, it might only make sense for developing countries. So, these articles show that there's a lot of potential in green energy. There's research to be done. Of course, you know, these experiments are in their infancy. You know, they're not right around the corner from being, you know, out on the shelves or something like that. We're years away from that. But, you know, we need a new form of energy, not oil. And I've been a supporter of solar energy for a very long time. I think solar energy is the best way to go. I don't really know about wind energy. Wind energy doesn't seem as efficient as solar energy, mostly because it's a lot more expensive to put up, and you don't really get your bang for your buck. That's sort of the impression I've gotten from wind energy. People talk about nuclear energy and coal. I don't know, but solar energy to me is the best right now. Even though you would have to lay down a ton of solar panels to power a city. So it goes to show you that solar panels, they're good right now, but they may not be the most efficient when it comes to providing power for an entire civilization. It makes more sense to have a form of energy that you could use that hopefully, I don't know, maybe potentially using nanotechnology, you could use to power much more forms of much more things that need energy, much more things that need electricity, like houses or not cars, but houses, maybe electric cars, cell phones and things like that. But you're doing it with plants that also put oxygen into the air. So you're getting more than just electricity. You're also getting, a photosynthesis benefit from it as well. So that's probably the best idea I've heard ever. If they can perfect this technology, that's really the caveat here, because it, as it currently stands, it's not really efficient enough. So they need to get it to a point where, it's much more powerful than it is now. Whether you want to call it Iron Man, chloroplast, or moss, or whatever the case may be. And there's so many different types of plant life on this world. There's no telling what's out there that can be used. So give me you guys your give me you guys' opinion in the comment section below. Tell me what you think, and I'll be making more of these science and technology videos, and I'm not done with the gaming videos either. But I'm kind of be doing both, because both subjects interest me. So instead of creating a separate channel just for science and technology news, it just makes more sense to me to just put everything under one channel for right now anyway. So get at me.